Let's talk a second about why Hegseth's spokesperson statement on the 19th Amendment women's voting rights doesn't make me feel any better. This is from the outlet that for the next 5 minutes will still be referred to as MSNBC, saying why the Pentagon needed to clarify Pete Hegseth's position on women's voting rights. There's a great little summary of the piece here. The good news is the Defense Secretary's spokesperson said he supports a woman's right to vote. The bad news is they had to clarify that in the first place. And I don't really like the way they clarified it. Let's talk. So the statement says, of course, the Secretary thinks that women should have the right to vote. That's a stupid question, which it's not a stupid question when you just last week shared a video from a bunch of pastors you agree with who are Christian nationalists saying women should not have the right to vote. But also it's very telling what is and isn't in this statement. Women should have the right to vote. But in the video, they're not just talking about women's right to vote. They very specifically talk about repealing the 19th Amendment or having men vote on behalf of households. And it is not too terribly difficult to see how someone who is a Christian nationalist and supports those things might still think that that is in a way supporting women's right to vote. First, that we should just get rid of the 19th Amendment because then it would turn it over to the states and each state should be able to decide, like they like states deciding anything else based on rights, so that a bunch of states can take those rights away. And then saying that women would technically still have a right to vote because it would be expressed through the male head of household. Now, of course, I think of the Jim Crow period and all of the laws that didn't technically mention race that were about keeping Black men and women from voting, some of which, like the poll tax, also caught a lot of white women whose husbands were legally in charge of their finances and didn't want them to vote. There's a lot of ways in this country's history and its present that stop someone from voting without actually saying we oppose them having voting rights. But yes, if you're supporting a religious political movement that says we need to repeal the 19th Amendment and men should vote as the heads of the household, representing their whole household, then just coming out and saying you very generically, through a spokesperson, support women's right to vote does not pass the sniff test for this suffrage historian. Happy early Women's National Equality Day.